Governor Wolfram has turned the highway he protects into the greatest, finest of barriers. So far, not a single soul has ever managed to sneak past him, for nothing can escape his keen eye. Gatekeeping. It's hard to say whether it's good or bad, since in certain scenarios, I kinda get it. Most of the time, though, it's childish. Are you upset that more people don't know about it or not? In the early 14th century, they took it pretty seriously, as the Swiss are trying to free themselves from the tyranny of Austria.
You know, it's funny how gatekeeping is a funny thing. It's like it's a weird, it's like a Ouroboros tattoo. It's snake eating itself to a degree. It's like if people don't know about this particular, say, anime, there are uncultured swines and they don't know what's good art or what's good anime. And then when everyone gets into anime, they'll start saying, "Man, we should gatekeep these people." There's too many of these losers in in this particular manga, anime in general. Yeah, it's a lose-lose situation. Like, it's an Ouroboros tattoo. It's like the snake eating itself. You don't really win. You just lose at the end of the day. Because if too many people are in it, it's oversaturated and it's not cool anymore. If less people are in it, everyone's a uncultured swine and they don't know nothing. Correct? So, like, you don't win. So, like, the weirdest thing about gatekeeping, there should be a healthy amount of gatekeeping to a degree where it vets the best people who are in it, but then again, that's still just gatekeeping in general. But so, like, there's no really winning at it. It's just how much you can keep the fandom at a contained level where it doesn't become toxic. But then again, it's like nothing's truly never toxic. It just doesn't seem as radical as right now compared to others. So, like, I don't think people compared to, like if you take, like, the Dragon Ball Z fandom compared to, like, I don't know, Big O, it's not the same. Like, or Gundam. Let's use Gundam. It's not the same. You're gonna get overrun by the Dragon Ball fandom. You know what I'm saying?
In the way of their plans. A key passage point gate-kept by one of the most sadistic and cruel villains in all of manga, Wolfram.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love the art style, and it's, like, very sharpness.
Wolf's Moon, also known as Okami no Kuchi, I wish I was better than this. A completed 8-volume manga that started in 2009 and ended in 2016. Created by Mitsuhashi Kuji, former assistant to Kaoru Mori, and Kentaro Miura, which makes a lot of sense given the setting and feeling of this story. Rebellion is fighting for their freedom, and the main thing getting in their way is Wolf's Moon, Wolf's Mouth, blocking and controlling the pass. In the Alpine region, the federated states of Uri, Unterwalden, and Schweiz were suffering constant humiliation under the oppression brought on by the invasion of the Austrian dukedom of Habsburg. Each day people are trying to pass through, but regardless of man, woman, or child, they all suffer at the hands of the monster who runs this place. Chapter 1 begins with a man and a woman whom he tries to disguise attempting to pass, and upon our first introduction to Wolfram, he is seen as a polite, well-mannered individual. I am the governor of this.
Dragon Ball Z creator got life threats. Big O didn't. Oh, because Big O wasn't that big. That's why. When you, like, it's like I think it's like when they said the time you get doxxed is when you know you are famous. What, did we not do that one thing where I think Chibi said it? He said, "You're not truly famous till you get death threat, unwarranted death threat out of nowhere, or you're not as famous if you don't get, like, swatted or doxxed or something like that." Dragon Ball Z creator. I've been seeing. I don't know. It died. Oh no. I think kids are actually getting. I think the reason why you're now seeing more influx for Yu Yu Hakusho is because people realizing. They're realizing that Yusuke is a real one. He don't take no shit and he'll punch bitches if he has to. Like he would because, like, I think what really jumps it for people is the scene where Yusuke did that thing when he kind of reached for the family jewels on an opponent just to see if it was a chick or not. Yep, as I'm talking about, he literally grabbed for a chick and apparently it was a dude. And then Kuwabara, the simp he is, was mad at him for doing such things. And then when you figure out it was a dude, he'd switch roles and say, "You're weird." Oh my god. I'm like, bro, you're a simp.
Checkpoint. You may call me Wolfram. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Anime/manga rule number 74. If they have squinty eyes and a smile, they're most likely evil. The man engages...
Yes, if they have a squinting eyes and their eyes are closed. But, like, they're right. Mathman's right. So whenever you see a character whose eyes are closed, they're either two things. They're extremely overpowered or they're evil. They're usually extremely overpowered or they're evil, but they're never the main villain. They're just kind of like the right-hand man of the villain, or they're just really overpowered. Like, let's use an example. Like, in Bleach, you have, I think his name's Gin. It was Gin. Gin was extremely powerful in his own way. He was strange, but he was very powerful in his own way. And then, what was it? Mob Psycho, that one dude that they had to fight. Except for Brock, but his power is, like, getting girls, so, like, he was overpowered by default on that one. That's the one thing you can say.
Wins, but in the fight, the little girl makes a mistake of calling out his name, which Wolfram picks up on the feminine voice, and then demands for the girl to be stripped to prove if his hunch is correct. Wolfram has the man shot down by arrows and has the girl beheaded. Today at Wolf's Moon, 2 people have been decapitated, and their heads exposed outside of the gates.
Whoa,
this manga,
what? What? Go back. What?
Pleased to make your acquaintance. And upon our first introduction to Wolfram and her child, they all suffer at the hands of the monster who runs this place. Chapter 1 begins with a man and a woman whom he tries to disguise, attempting to pass, and upon our first introduction to Wolfram, he is seen as a polite, well-mannered individual. I am the governor of this checkpoint. You may call me Wolfram. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Anime/manga rule number 74. If they have squinty eyes and a smile, they're most likely evil. The man engages in a duel for the right to passage and wins, but in the fight the little girl makes a mistake of calling out his name, which Wolfram picks up on the feminine voice, and then demands for the girl to be stripped to prove if his hunch is correct. Wolfram has the man shot down by arrows and has the girl beheaded. Today at Wolf's Moon, 2 people have been decapitated, and their heads exposed outside of the gates. This manga will ramp up quickly from here since we are in medieval times, and even though at first I was like, well, this is typical medieval shit, if there's anything about people in the old medieval days is whatever they lacked in medical advancement, they sure were creative experts in ways to inflict pain. I'm so serious, they must have been so bored to come up with the type of stuff they did back then. Something that becomes very apparent the more people try to pass.
Bro's not wrong. Bro's not wrong. Bro is not wrong. I wish I can get that too.
Through this checkpoint is that Wolfram knows if they're affiliated with the rebellion or not from the very start. Or he just doesn't seem to care at all, since he will get a kick out of playing games with his victims. The only other quality made apparent about Wolfram is his full devotion to Duke Leopold, saying that his actions are a testament to his loyalty towards him. Now, do I buy that? Not really, because as it seems to go on, it just sort of seems like his excuse to commit all of the actions, regardless whether he was working under Leopold or not. Still, he knows that his life is in danger if he doesn't get results, so that just drives him further to do this. In the very next chapter, we meet a highly skilled assassin, who Wolfram deceives, and despite her best efforts, she is killed by a sword to the back, as her body is then put on a wheel for display, with Wolfram smiling while he sits by a warm fire. Today at Wolf's Moon, 1 person was executed and exposed outside of the gate. Chapter 3, titled Wilhelm and Walter, is the chapter that stood out in my head and really took Wolfram from executioner to cruel sadist, as the chapter starts with him burning the bottom of a little boy's feet as a way to interrogate his father about information regarding the rebellion. Father states that they did try to bypass the checkpoint by crossing the frozen lake, but they have no intention of being rebels. Wolfram refuses to stop, showing joy from the agonizing scream of the little boy and the father crying for mercy. In accordance with the law of the Duchy of Austria, and pursuant to the ruling of presiding Governor Wolfram, we shall now bestow punishment upon this criminal, as we see the father put in a noose being upheld only by his own son. He just had the bottoms of his feet burned. Stand firm, young boy. If you can last one night like that, rather if God finds it in his mighty will, he will consider postponing your father's execution.
Damn! Damn, bro! No, man! Oh my god! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Oh my god! Talk about traumatizing the shit out of a kid. This is good stuff. That's insane, dude.
Son is determined to save his father's life. Later that night, snow begins to fall. We see the little boy collapsed on the ground, incapable of saying a word, looking up at the body of his dead father. With no strength in his legs to move, he sits there broken. In the inn close to the checkpoint, a lady with black hair has appeared in every chapter wishing for the downfall of Wolfram, and it seems the time has finally come. At the end of the chapter, we are introduced to the hero of this tale, the legendary hero Wilhelm Tell. This man was known for shooting an apple off of the head of his son and killing the evil former Governor Gessler. That was 5 years ago. Now he and his son plan on scaling the mountains in order to bypass the checkpoint. But even in the steep mountains, Wolfram cannot be avoided. They do manage to make it through, and as they walk the path believing a new era will begin, a voice asks them politely if they could wait a moment. Wolfram chastises them for trying to break the law and asks them to return to the checkpoint or die here, and our hero is shot in the chest while he and his son fall to their doom. Reporting back to the prince, he informs him that they couldn't find the body, and the Duke believes that small errors like that could have dire consequences. There will not be a next time. If he fails, he will have Wolfram's head. We then see that Wilhelm's son, Walter, survived, and is now hell-bent on revenge against Wolfram. The next string of chapters is a stretch of non-stop bloody brutality, which I can definitely see the Berserk inspiration there, making the very checkpoint, though, itself feel like a domain that serves as an extension of Wolfram's perverse sadism, be it a man being whipped to death, having a mother and her daughter searched everywhere, leaving the mother to then drown at the bottom of a lake, and then hang the lady at the end, once beautiful woman put on display for the birds to eat her flesh.
Oh my god. Bruh, what is this? This is amazing. Why is this not an anime? This needs an anime! Does he have it in here? Hold up, let me check. He put it in... It's called...
Wolfram from Wolf's Moon.
Wolfram from Wolf's Moon. I think, if I'm saying that right. I could be wrong, but let's see.
Siblings who had their family executed by Wolfram seeking revenge, as we see that his way of showing compassion to the children was to have each one lose an eye now in the present, saying he has no reason to remember them. To them, it was the most important evening of their lives, and for Wolfram, it was just Tuesday. Even their best efforts fail, the sister having her face punched in to death, and the brother is crushed by the gate. Once again, Wolfram only expresses joy as their bodies are stuffed in a barrel. But their efforts were not completely in vain, as Walter was able to pass and give the details of the plans to the other side. This will only cause Wolfram to up his bloodthirsty antics even more, finding the wife of Wilhelm Tell and his second son. Having the boy strung up as the mother has a stake put underneath her finger. Ooh, even saying it.
Ah! Oh no! 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 Oh my god, no. Oh, bruh, what the hell?
Having a stake put underneath her fingernails and hammered off. Out of all the things that could have physically made me cringe, this was it, and I don't know why. I think it's because it's the most imaginable since I've had nails busted up. They then splash boiling water on the boy as the wife refuses to confess, but that is because she truly does not know, and so she screams to ask her father instead. The only issue is, Wolfram already had him killed, pulling out his decapitated head. But as they were incapable of giving him good answers, he will have them serve a small purpose. Wolfram puts on a public demonstration, knowing that Walter will be among the crowd to see it happen, hoping he will expose himself and therefore expose the rebellion, as he feeds his mother and younger brother to the wolves. Still,
God.
This isn't enough for Wolfram, and so he plays a little game. And the direction in which the sword falls will be the one that is executed. The sword falls towards the mother, who is joyful and wishes that her son will live. But then Wolfram says it's time of the death of the son, stating that he never stated if he meant the hilt of the blade or the blade itself. Dear me, crying, pleading, getting angry, begging, lunging, they're all rather fun reactions. Miss Hedwig, please forgive me. When I am talked to in a defiant manner, it just makes me want to pull tricks. Walter has no choice but to watch, and before he's able to scream and intervene, one of the members of the Alliance knocks him out. As his mother jumps in to save her son, what is left of his family has their throats ripped off, and the wolves play with the remains.
Oh God.
Wolfram is starting to show nerves, as the rebellion was willing to give up the lives of their own family.
Not gonna lie, this will not be aired on Western TV. I'm telling you now, this would not be sanctioned by America. If this was, oh God, bro, I'm telling you, this would not be written by no Westerner in Hollywood. I'm telling you now, it would not happen. This will be heavily censored up the wazoo by default. Up the wazoo, peoples. You will not ever see this version of this. This is European folklore type brutality. No, there's no problem with history, but you know how they like to rewrite history. You know, leftists like, yes, like you know how leftists are. They like to rewrite history to a degree. So like that's kind of crazy. This will not work. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. Like this would not fly in today's world because like like I said, it's European brutality. Brutality.
Family, something big must be planned.
That's
the next
the
16
problem.
chapters
That's
are the
usually
big
their problem.
invasion of the castle led by Walter and all of the best warriors the Alliance has left. A violent and vicious stretch that takes the lives of many. A point that the manga is really starting to drive home. Even once in the castle itself, it is laid with traps that make each step forward require sacrifice, with those that manage to live a little longer carrying the weight and the guilt of having survived, all the more determined to get their hands on Wolfram. The manga itself feels like an isolated arc in what could have been a big war story, as seen with Kingdom, with Wolf's Moon being the arc the community would point to as the darkest and most brutal point, but I believe that keeping it short and focused allowed for Kuji to pull off something rather unique. The feeling that there is no hero. Every time we are presented with one, they are taken away. Seriously, there's like 4 different times reading this where I was like, oh, so this is the guy. That is short to let the reality sink in that this is the effort of many who died for a cause. Even with the outcome of the manga, you ultimately feel rather down. For a 36-chapter series, it leaves a very strong impression while also doing a good job of choosing a rather unique but memorable historical setting. And the actual history this draws from is fascinating, as the fortress of Wolf's Moon in the Gotthard Pass was real but not the bloody gate of death run by a sadist. The Battle of Morgarten does take place in this manga, and that was pretty accurate to the real-life event, and is a very satisfying moment, especially in terms of Duke Leopold. What about Wolfram, though, and his fate? Well, I might be taking a risk with this choice, but I'm fairly certain that the vast majority of you watching this video have not heard of Wolf's Moon before, let alone read it. So while for this—
Bro, you better not make a spoiler. I'll kill you. No, you better not spoil this for me. Do not spoil this for me, bro. You better not. I'm gonna give you a very angry letter, bro. I'm gonna get angry real fast. Don't piss me off. I'll get colorful with you.
For the sake of this video's watch time, it would be of benefit for me to cover that part of the story. I believe I presented enough to get you interested, and I don't want to rob you of reading that moment for yourself,
thank
and I
God.
believe this is a highly underrated manga worth checking out. I hope this counts as a good form of gatekeeping.
Oh Jesus! I was about to unsubscribe. I was about to unsubscribe so fast and send an angry letter. I was like, bro, no. Oh, Jesus Christ. Bro, did you think he was gonna give this? I don't know what it was, but something in my mind felt like he was going to give us the spoiler. I was gonna get mad. Like, give me a few days. Give me a few days. I got you. Oh my God. Yo, bro, I was, oh my God, I'm not the only one. I was really about to get mad. Thank you for the follow, and thank you for that, sad boy. I appreciate it, my bro. Thank you. Let's go. Oh, that was awesome. All right. So, let me see. Okay, I think we're done with this segment. Okay, we got one more segment, and then we'll get to the creepypasta. The reason I'm holding the creepypasta off because that's an hour long.